So how about that Game Awards reveal, huh? Yeah, I got jokes. The Sonic fandom is a very vocal one and very opinionated one as well. While being a fandom with such diverse thoughts and opinions on things like stories, gameplay, models, there are a lot of opinions that are general consensus, opinions that most people agree with. Now, on the opposite side of this, you get hot takes. Unpopular, controversial opinions that some people definitely agree with, but most people don't. We're here today to talk about those. To be more specific, my hot takes regarding the franchise. I put out posts on Twitter asking for hot takes, and I got way too many. So I'm sticking to my own hot takes for this video, but I'll definitely be doing a video specifically on your hot takes if this video does well. So sit back, relax, get ready to either get really angry or really happy realizing you're right like I am, and enjoy. My first hot take is going to be one of the most controversial on this entire list, but I personally think the Final Horizon is ass. First off, I really do like the addition to new playable characters, as it's a really good concept. However, in execution, well, in order to make it so these characters aren't super overpowered, they usually have something about them that makes them way worse to play as when compared to Sonic. Tails doesn't have the homing attack, Amy doesn't have the stomp and has the delayed homing attack, and Knuckles has a delayed stomp. Now, while each of these characters attempt to balance these things out with things like Amy having a double jump glide, Knuckles having a glide, and Tails flying, the game doesn't feel totally right with them. You need the homing attack in this game, you need instant stomping, and to have these fundamentals changed, it just makes these characters not ideal to play as. And the trial towers, okay. I like the added challenge, but these are very sloppy. They want to put more of an emphasis on platforming, but don't really full commit to it. They give you large pits to jump over, but have constant guardrails with this overabundance of homing chains. Sure, it can be fun to jump over these pits, but that's all these are. Rinse and repeat platforming that other Sonic games have done better. Also, they look like this. So many people say that this is the peak of Sonic platforming. Dude, this isn't even the surface. This is the bare minimum, and the reason people give it kudos is simply because the added challenge makes it seem better than it is, when in reality it's rather poorly designed. Real quick, if you enjoy the video so far and don't hate my guts, consider subscribing. That's all. Enjoy. You want to know what's not poorly designed? Sonic Colors. Yeah, in a cruel twist of fate, I've discovered a part of me that actually really believes that Sonic Colors is a solid game. And upon discovering this, I've realized one of my next hot takes. A lot of Sonic Colors filler levels are actually pretty good. Now, I'm not defending all of these. There is a level where you literally just quickstep for 2 minutes, but there's a lot of levels that get much more enjoyable on repeat playthroughs. And while I won't argue these aren't technically filler levels, I will defend them as I feel they're actually pretty damn well designed. I'm going to be going over 3 specific ones here briefly, and just know there's more. 2 of these stages are really short and sweet, being Tropical Resort Act 6 and Aquarium Park Act 2. These 2 stages are very short, being able to be beaten in like 20 seconds. I like them both for the same reason though. They both have an emphasis on actual platforming without using the homing attack as a crutch. The boost is very limited here, meaning if you want a good time, you'll have to try blazing through these stages without the boost, which can be a bit of a challenge as it's easy to fall into pits or miss time a jump. This especially goes for Aquarium Park Act 2. However, with how quick these levels are, they are insanely fun to try to master. They both have an incredible flow state despite the lack of boost at most parts. This is actually one time I think Ultimate makes the stages a little more fun, as you can get a little bit of boost due to the perfect homing attack. But this doesn't break the stage. Air boosting through these levels is still incredibly dangerous, so you have to be smart with how you use it. As for Tropical Resort Act 3, I don't have anything super specific to say about it except for the fact that it's a very solid act, about on par with Act 1 in my opinion. It has a great flow state, fun use of the Wisp, and it's got a decent runtime as well. I'd urge you guys to go back on some of these otherwise forgettable acts and try to get good as them, as I find them to really shine on repeat playthroughs. Now, my next hot take is a bit of a shorter one, and I want you to listen very carefully so you don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I don't think Sonic Forces is as bad as people say it is. Now, I still do not think it's a good game for a plethora of reasons, but I will say this game can actually be some decent fun. Something about the brain-dead nature of most of these levels ends up making Forces a game that's really easy to just open up and play for a few minutes. Now, while most of these stages, sure, aren't anything special, it's sort of like doom scrolling. Yeah, sure, most of these stages aren't that good, but they're quick, a very short burst of dopamine, and incredibly easy to digest when you just don't know what else to play. Now, this isn't me defending the quality of this game, don't get it twisted. This is still not a very good game. My point is that it isn't this horrible, terrible travesty everyone says it is. Because hate me all you want, I do find this game to be decent fun at points, and there are some parts of it I do actually think are good. Metropolitan Highway is a actually pretty decent stage, all things considered. A lot of the Avatar stages can be really fun to speedrun with the addition of a Drill Wisp, so this game isn't all bad. Just keep in mind, this still doesn't mean I think it's a good game by saying this. No, this doesn't make me contradict myself. I can acknowledge something is below average in quality, recognize that, and enjoy it regardless. Now, if you thought I'd make a Sonic hot takes video and not talk about CD, you've probably never watched one of my videos. My next hot take is that Sonic CD level design is not random bullshit go. I'll talk about one particular stage, the one people say the most about, Collision Chaos. People will look at all the moving bumpers in the sky and all the springs and say, wow, we're really defending this level design? It's just bullshit go, LMAO! No. It's not. You see, this mindset comes from a misunderstanding of how CD does its level. If you don't think something serves a purpose, it probably does. Except for this spring at the end of Palm Tree Panic, still genuinely not sure about this one. Collision Chaos gets a lot of flack for the reasons I stated previously, but what people fail to realize is that these bumpers and springs aren't obstacles. They're platforms. Objects set there to aid you if you work with them right. Most people just bump into them like morons because they try to brute force everything in the game. That's the issue. If you try to brute force CD, you will not have a fun time. You actually have to think when playing the game. This is not Sonic 2. This game is an actual platformer where you need to actually interact with your environment. Also, I'm not saying Sonic 2 isn't a platformer, just saying that it is kind of a lot of hold forward to win. Now, when you actually work with your environment, you get one of the most fun stages in the entire franchise, in my opinion. When you work with your environment and not against it, you unlock the beauty of player expression, and that's all CD is. The song isn't lying, you can do anything in this game if you work with it. So next time you see a weirdly placed slope or bumper or whatever, take a look at the environment around it, and instead of thinking, let me get past this, think, how can I use this to advance? And that's the secret sauce to realizing that CD is actually the best Sonic game. I'm serious. Next up on my list of hot takes is one that will make you upset. I don't think Sonic 3 is that great of a movie. I'm just gonna say it. Now, I could go in depth on a lot of things I dislike about the movie and the movies in general, like the fact that Sonic is just not Sonic, but frankly, I'm too lazy, so I'm going to explain one of my main gripes I have: the tone. I think this movie has a really big problem of not being able to stick to a certain tone, or not being able to keep a certain tone. This mainly becomes a problem closer to the end of the movie, where everything starts getting ramped up. Gerald's mask starts slipping as his demeanor becomes more sinister, the start of this becoming apparent with the "Oh, Ivo, you're no Maria." Sick-ass line, by the way. I love that, that's great. Sonic and Shadow begin fighting, with their conflict becoming the focal point of most of the third act, and all of this is fine and good, however. And it's all really exciting. They begin shifting to a more serious tone, and that's great. It's super appropriate given the stakes have been building up, and especially including Gerald's gradual shift to a proper villain. However, things begin to fall apart because the movie refuses to put both feet into this new serious tone. And I'm not saying there can't be any jokes once things have gotten serious. No, there's absolutely a way to do it. This movie, at its heart, is a comedy, whether you want to admit it or not. But the thing is, most comedies have serious points, and they know how to balance the comedy with the seriousness. This movie does not. This movie handles it so poorly when we get to the scene where Sonic and Shadow team up, and shit's getting crazy, and then we get a hard cut to Gerald spanking Eggman's ass. Now, don't get me wrong here, that's fucking hilarious, but only on a repeat watch. When I watched it for the first time, I did not find it funny at all, because it kills all momentum the movie had going. We go from this really cool, intense, serious scene of Sonic and Shadow together, they're teaming up, they're putting their differences aside, it's sick and all, and then hard cut to ass spanking. The entire movie seemed like it was gradually shifting out of the comedy genre, but then it just comes right back. It's not a quick second joke either. Like, there is a 2-minute fight scene between Gerald and Eggman after this that straight up just sucks ass. It's not good. It's not funny either. Also, Gerald is back to being this super goofy bad guy again. I thought the idea of Gerald humoring Eggman to get him on his side by being goofy was a really good idea, but by having him actually just be goofy even when the mask is off, I don't know, it makes him feel so less threatening. That's my main problem with the movie, is that the poor tonal shift of the third act ruins a lot of it for me. Not saying some jokes weren't funny though, Gerald dying with a fly swatter sound effect, yeah, you got me. Shit's funny. Now, to ruin all credibility, I'm gonna go back and say I actually really like the Knuckles show. Now, is it a good Sonic show? Oh god, no, it's horrible. It's barely a Sonic show. But I'm sorry, you can't make me hate this show when it has the greatest character of all time, Wade Whipple, front and center. A lot of people are like, oh, Wade Whipple, I fucking love him. Like, ironically, no, I unironically fucking love Wade Whipple. The amount of stupid bullshit that happens in the show makes it incredibly entertaining, and I can't lie, I love it more than the movies. Wade sneaks down an elevator shaft with dental floss. This is the greatest show ever. I think this video by Chazington perfectly sums up my exact thoughts on the Knuckles show. Please watch it because it's exactly how I feel. It's so dumb, I love it. One of my friends jokingly said around the halfway point of the series that the show would end with Wade and Knuckles winning the bowling tournament and then high-fiving as it freeze-framed on it. And that's how the fucking show ended! And my final hot take, it's a shorter one, but I think the Sonic fandom needs to get higher standards. I get why people were doom posting years ago before Frontiers and everything. The franchise wasn't in a great state. But dude, the franchise is so profitable now. My standards are so high for the next game. People keep saying, don't get your hopes up, you'll get disappointed, and man, I'm just tired of that mindset. There are no excuses anymore. There's no reason the next Sonic game shouldn't be amazing. And if the game is bad, then yes, I will be disappointed. It doesn't make me having high standards invalid. The next game has to be good, and me having high standards isn't a bad thing. It's not me being ignorant. We need to stop settling for lower standards. We are not at the point anymore where we should be giving Sega the benefit of the doubt. We should not be having low standards for Sonic games anymore. This is not 2014. We're not in the trenches. The Sonic franchise has made like $2 jillion. My standards are high, and if that bites me in the ass and we get another 7 out of 10, well, so be it. I hope you enjoyed my hot takes. Let me know if you want to see another video like this, because I could really go on and on. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.